Hey guys, it's Avengel. Welcome to Headquarter in England. This is the Blue Sky Simulations airport here, but today we're taking a look at the Golden Age Simulations Boeing Stearman, model 75. Now this is the A75L300. We'll talk about the variations in a moment, but this is quite a cool pack because you get 3 aircraft. You get a PT-13, a PT-17, and this A75L300, including a bunch of different liveries. It's actually really good value because what you're looking at here is $22.50 USD, which is about $7.50 a plane, which is pretty reasonable actually, compared to what we've got from, say, Ant's Tiger Moth. Now, I have to tell you ahead of time, I helped these guys out with their preview video for the plane, and I did some beta testing on the aircraft as well. So I have seen this before, I have flown this before, and I have looked at it a fair bit, and of course I was given a copy of this for the review. This will be coming out in the next week or two for general release. It's already been out as early access on Sim Out House, which is one of the OG flight sim forums on the internet. Amazing bunch of people there. I miss them all very dearly. I used to be a very, very long time member on there. Now, I will say, off the bat, downside sound package. It's a legacy sound pack. Not ideal. But they're working on the Super Stearman, which is going to have a full WY sound pack going with that. So chances are there'll be some possible revision to this one. Don't know, not confirmed. Now, this aircraft, of course, the Boeing Stearman, is a biplane. You know that one, right? Of course, military trainer, used in crop dusting, used in so many things. Aerobatic aircraft, Breitling used them. Wonderful planes. Now, they first were created in 1934 as an improvement on the Model 70. And its sort of name services the Cadet as well as the Stearman, of course, in Canada. The US Navy, the US Army Air Corps, tons of service. And trained a lot of the original waves as well, the female pilots, of course, in the US military. Now, this thing has multiple different variants with different engines. The ones we have here include the PT-17 with a Continental R670 at 220 horsepower. The 13, or NS2 5, has a 680B4 at 225, and this model, the A75L300, has a Lycoming R680 at 300 horsepower, so a bit juicier. Now, overall, the aircraft is 24 feet 9 inches long, with a wingspan of 32 feet 2 inches, and a height of 9 foot 8.5. So, just not a huge aeroplane. Of course, it's 2, and you will see as we go to our exterior camera for our little fly around here. Find my controls. There we go. Headquarters great because it's got tons of aircraft around it. Look at all these. It's great. Love it. So, the Stearman. Now, Golden Age Simulations are an old school group. They've been around for a very long time. FS 2004 days. This is OG flight sim development. And it's nice to see them back. And this is definitely not going to be something on the par with Coronado. It's not on a par with Ants in terms of the 3D modelling and texturing. It's fair enough. They're not charging a premium for it either, so there is that to it. And it has got some cool features. So, texturing-wise, it's actually not bad. The texturing is okay. The modelling, in places I would have liked to have seen it a little higher. It could do a lot more with some more modelling. Fabric wings will do a lot for you, but I think a couple of bits look a little bit flatter or slightly lower poly. That back of the fuselage being one of them. And some of the textures, little bit below what I would like. That step being one. But it's not bad. I've seen far worse in the sim. Am I defending it because I helped work on it a little bit? At least helping testing? Maybe. But there are other aspects to an aircraft that I think are very important to see than just visuals. They're important, and I'd say it's above the threshold we expect as a minimum. Definitely. So let's take a look inside. Now, one of the cool parts, of course, is clicking here, we get the EFB. Now, not only does it allow us to do cold and dark, ready for taxi, ready for takeoff modes, but we can put the cover on the cockpit and Parker We can cover the pitot tube, tie downs, wheel chocks, control locks. You've seen all those. Refueling and the pilot and passenger. Which I don't think I can set him till we're going, but we'll have a look. So, you know, you've got your refueling with the hand pump there. Very, very Stearman appropriate. Unlike a lot of aircraft, not only does this have pilots that you can have as an option, there's a male and female pilot, which you'll see once we have the engine going, as pilot and passenger options. These are avatars that are included separately with the sim. You can use your own choice of pilot avatar, or you can use their included ones, the male and female here, in any plane you like. So you'll have a pair of vintage pilots to use in any aircraft you want, which is surprisingly a cooler feature to add to what you're paying for. You get 2 vintage pilots included in that, so the value improves, to be honest. So of course we've got the checklist, chocks, we've got the covers. You don't take the cover off, of course, you will not get airspeed indications. So we'll pull all these off like we're ready to get going here. There we go, there's our co-pilot. You can actually see him in the cockpit, which is nice to have as well. Let's go first person here for a drone for a second there. They're not bad pilot figures. She's a little bit less than he is, but they're more than workable for pilot figures compared to what we get in the sim. So it's nice to have vintage options out there. Okay, we're in the cockpit, so I will get rid of the EFB here for us. And we're going to roll down to Checklist Town. And I will go through everything we've got here. So first off, we'll run through the cockpit. Of course, smoke controls down here. We have our extinguisher there. The 13 and 17 versions have it here on a fold-out panel. Now this is also when we have actually got a prop control on the A75. Parking brake, alternator, battery. I'm going to have down here to allow you to fly it online and online services. We have a transponder. We have a radio, so you can use those with, of course, avionics switch down there to actually use it. Fuel valves, control lock. So controls are locked when that's down. That should be how we leave the aircraft and smoke. And we have a starter in this version. Of course, you can hand prop the other ones. In fact, we could do that on there. So let's go and get the checklist and take a look, shall we? In fact, I'm going to use the checklists in Sim because they are actually included. So before engine starting checklist, ignition switch off, parking brake on, they are done. So how do I check these ones? I never do that. Oh, tick item. I'm not doing that, too much hassle. Engine start cold. Battery on. Battery on. Carb is full cold. Okay. Does this version have a carburetor? Oh, it is. Full cold. There we go. Mixture control full rich. Let's do that. Mixture control to full rich. That's throttle to idle. Magnetos both on. Those are up there. To both on. Throttle open 1/2 inch. Engine RPM. I believe in the instructions we actually get from them in their manual, which is included, by the way, with the engine start procedures, does indicate we should have the... And for our temperature is about, I think it's in the teens, so we're not going to have to worry about temperature too much here. But we are going to want to do 2 rotations on the prop for start. We've also got our primer in the cockpit. This version, obviously, the A75 L300, a lot more in the cockpit. We have a variable pitch prop, of course. We have the starter in the actual aircraft. Useful. The other versions are hand kind of start and cruise start on the exterior, but you can still do that with this. So we want to have our, I believe it's prop pitch set to minimum on this one. So we'll pull that back here for minimum start, and we'll go exterior to those positions to start it. So that should be around here. There we go. Now this one, of course, doesn't have the exterior priming, so I'm going to unlock it. 2 strokes. We're going to pull the prop through, so we'll go to the front for that. And then we should be able to scroll wheel. Yeah. We have engine start. Get ourselves back in here. We'll pull our pitch up to fine. And we should be good to rock and roll. Okay, head is switched on. Cockpit texturing is okay. Now, the leather around the cockpit's a very visible close-up thing. I like the fact it's been bump mapped, actually. That adds a lot of more kind of feel to the leather and more texture. It's nice to see that. Panel's very black. Bit of a kind of poly curve under there, but it's not the end of the world. Floor panels look a little bit brand new. It's okay. It's not the most amazing, it's not the worst either. Right, parking brake is in. Had prop in there, so we'll be careful. Okay, taxi between very expensive aircraft, including a trainer Spitfire. A deal of Headcorn. It's Burning Blue Designs, sorry, Burning Blue. That's who did this airfield, Headcorn. Available on Orbex, I believe. Right, excuse me, Bob. Let's go. So, of course, having my crew member in the front there does make things a little bit more visually interesting, having to look past him. But welcome to the world of biplanes. Now, takeoff and landing is not very complicated at all. It's a very well-behaved aircraft, and of course, I need to make sure my controls are free and clear. Controls are free and clear. Okay, we're lined up there. Now, my tail wheel lock should be on this side. Now, you'll find the tail comes up relatively quickly on this aircraft, so power forward. Okay, tails up. Okay, hold her on her main wheels, and as we come up in speed, ease back gently, and she's away. Oh, hello. There we go. Hey, now we can see the plane. Haha. I must say, I do like the Stearman. I've always liked the Stearman, and I believe we had one come out a long time ago for MSFS, and it wasn't great. It wasn't that great, if I'm honest. It was awful, I recall, but it wasn't great. So it's nice to have one that has a lot more depth to it in terms of functions and features, and from what I've been told by some Stearman pilots, it's very, very well done in terms of flight modelling. I'm not a Stearman pilot, but I think I can handle it okay. There's Headcorn down there for us, so we'll get some altitude here. The 300 horsepower engine definitely does help if you want to get some grunt in here. Cockpit-wise, other than the starting instruments being in the cockpit of this variant, it's largely identical to the 13 and 17, so you won't see those. Visual differences are minute and generally down to the engine type, amongst other features. So you will note on the side of the cowling for the 13 and 17, you'll get the primer, you'll get the engine energizer, and the starter functions on the side there. So we'll be able to do that. Let's have a bit of a play, shall we? I'm not an aerobatics expert, that's for darn sure. In fact, I'm generally pretty rough at them, but we're going to try our best. And it has been said, of course, by the guys that the sound pack isn't the best. Being a Legacy is not. I'm not a massive fan of it, but it's better than stock sounds, obviously. There aren't any good stock radial sounds that would work for this. But we'll see what we can do. Over the top we go. Hey, up we come. Let's get some smoke on, shall we? Am I smoking? I'm not smoking. Do I have to set one of these? We do! Can I make multicolored smoke? Yes, I can! Haha! I still haven't mastered some of these roles in some of these types of aircraft. You'd think it would be nice and easy, but I'm a bush pilot. I don't do aerobatics. That's for people who have style. I don't have style. The only thing I have style with is falling. But we can try some maneuvers. Let's get ourselves back over towards head coordinate itself proper, which is in front of us. Build some speed here. And we'll go for a hammerhead. If I can get that right. There's every chance I'll get it horribly wrong, but we'll try. Go for it. No, I can never quite get the maneuvers right for the pointed roll. Okay, so let's get some speed here. Dive down. Notice it gets louder when I go faster. Interesting. When I go slower, it gets quieter. Okay. Whoa, hello. Okay, power on. It wasn't anywhere near as dramatic as I was hoping that would be. I wonder if I have to power on those to do them properly. Over we go. Being a biplane is not the snappiest roller, but... Oh, being this biplane, I should say, not the snappiest roller. There are, of course, faster, the shorter the wing, stubby little wing, things like pits will tend to do that. But it certainly flies really nicely. That is one thing I have to say for this. It does fly really, really well. The glass is clear with no actual scratching on there, which is to some people's preference, so that's a plus. Instruments are clean and easy to read. There is no GPS option that I can see. Alright, let's see if this will work. I'm not going to do it close to the runway in case I lose my engine, but... Has it got an inverted fuel system? Or a gravity-fed fuel system? It does not want to stay upside down, that's for sure. But the engine stays running. Okay. Oh, it's the carburetor, sorry, is the thing that's gravity-fed or fed. Otherwise... Jabbering muck. It's like I think I'd know about aerobatic stuff, I don't. Okay. We'll have one last little hoopla. We'll go for another, is it hammerhead or a chandelier? The aerobatics nerds in the chat are going to rip me to shreds, aren't they? I'm going to do the wiggly thing where you go up, diddly up, and then down, diddly down, down. Those magnificent men in their flying machines, right? That's more like it. I'm trying to kick it into a spin though and it won't do it for me. Right, we'll line up for a landing and bring her around here. So, close enough to get back there, so we'll get ourselves in position here. Okay, there is our strip visual. Excellent. It's on the edge of the darker grass. Okay, managing my speed down now. Of course, no flaps in the old Stearman. It's very much a manual thing. Oh, I'll tell you what would be cool. One thing that I would have loved as an update would be a wing walker option. Or maybe the super one, which I believe the super Stearman is what the Breitling ones use. Having wing walkers as a visibility option would be awesome. Like, animated wing walkers would be such a cool feature for the super Stearman. I'd love to see that. Okay. Bring it around for a kind of a curved turn into final. Because seeing past this fella and the longer nose is definitely slightly more difficult. I'm certainly no expert when it comes to biplanes and or aerobatics, but it's certainly fun to fly. A lot of fun to fly. Picking up speed there, let's just do a bit of crabbing. A little bit of crab. Just to make the weather go around. Straighten her up here. Nice and gentle. I don't want to bonk this. Floaty, 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 floaty. And I think we three-pointed that. Nice. Little bit of brakes, let's not nose over. The tail dragger is not parked until she's in the hangar and you're in the bar. There we go. Tail wheel lock is coming off. So what do I think? Vintage developer in Golden Age Simulations, and much nicer than the other Stearman we had. Certainly, oh, there's Stearman to park next to, and a Cub. Certainly much nicer than the other Stearman we had. Way more features and functions. The start mechanics are super cool, and visually could be better in places, I think. But very much of a very good level. It's good, more than good enough to be on the par with what we really look for. For the price they're asking for this aircraft, let me shut this down before we go any further. There we go. We'll pop outside for a bit of a chat. For the price they're asking, and the fact you get 3 models, including the PT-13, PT-17, which as you know has military and civilian liveries. We have the A75L300, so we have 220, 225 and 300 horsepower engines. We have cool engine start mechanics on all the variants. We have custom avatars included to use on any aircraft. See, look at that, there's a wing walker on that one. This is actually a really good option, and for $22, that's a very fair price. I'd say for what they offer you, well worth a crack, and it flies really, really good. Thanks for watching. Bye.